So what are you going to do if you have Windows 10 and you can't upgrade to Windows 11? Or maybe you don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. What can you do? Well, you can do nothing. Just keep using Windows 10 till October. A few months away, the deadline is October 14th, 2025. That doesn't mean Windows 10 is just going to stop working. It means that Microsoft is no longer going to give security updates or any other kind of updates to Windows 10. But there is a catch. Microsoft is offering extended security support for Windows 10. It's going to be $30 a year for each device. So if you have two computers, that's $60 a year. I have three computers. One of them can run Windows 11, so I'm not worried about that. Two of them can't. They just miss those minimum system requirements. I usually get older computers from eBay. It's much cheaper to go that way. They work perfectly fine. Why spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars when you don't have to? But two of my computers just missed those minimum requirements. So what I did with those, I set up a dual boot system with Linux. So basically what I'm going to do is any secure stuff like banking or shopping, I'm going to do with Linux. And anybody can do that, just web browsing on Linux. That's very easy. I know a lot of people are intimidated by Linux, but if you just use it for web browsing, very easy, almost identical to Windows. Now with my Windows 10 computers, I have programs that will only run on Windows 10. As you might guess, I do a lot of video editing, a lot of video recording for my YouTube channel. So the Windows 10 computers are going to be mainly for that. And I don't want to do everything on one computer because I like to move around because there's hours of editing involved, hours of recording involved. So I have a computer in different rooms, so change the scenery. So I go from one computer throughout the day as I'm editing. So if you're keeping Windows 10, maybe you don't want to deal with Linux at all, you can still use it, but you have to be very cautious. You have to make sure you have updated antivirus software running on your computer, have some kind of firewall going, but you're still going to be at risk. You have to watch the websites you go to, only go to trusted websites. Don't click on weird email links that you might get. You have to watch out for malware. Malware can be especially tricky because they send you an email. It looks legitimate. You click on a link. The website looks legitimate. You put your personal information in there. And yeah, they got you. They got all your personal information. And who knows what they're going to do with it. So maybe if you want to keep using Windows 10, maybe you just don't use email on that computer at all. Have a separate computer for checking email. Maybe check it on your cell phone. This way you lower the risk of accidentally clicking a bad link or something like that. So you might want to try something like that. So let's say, okay, you're too nervous about Windows 10 causing problems. You want to get a Windows 11 computer, but you don't have a lot of money to spend. Maybe you could check on eBay. There are computers on there under $200 that are capable of running Windows 11. Just double check and make sure that the computer model you're looking at is capable of running Windows 11. Now, when buying something on eBay, it's very important to check the feedback of the person you're dealing with. Make sure they're legitimate. Make sure they'll accept returns if the computer ends up not working. Just do your due diligence and do your research, and you could end up getting a decent computer I've done it many times with much success. Computers that have worked for years and years. And when I was looking at computers a while ago, I knew the Windows 11 thing was coming. But some of the deals I got were cheap on computers that weren't capable of running Windows 11. I thought at the time that Microsoft was going to lower the qualifications to upgrade to Windows 11. I think a lot of people thought that, but hey, to my surprise and the surprise of many, they're not doing that. That's kind of really surprising. They're putting millions of computer users in the garbage, or they're just saying, hey, you gotta pay us now for these upgrades. And who knows how long the paid upgrade is going to last. It may only last a year. So that was kind of surprising and kind of disappointing that Microsoft is really doing something kind of stupid. They're not really looking out for their customers. They're just being draconian. You have to meet these stringent system requirements, or we're not going to allow you to upgrade to Windows 11. So another thing I was thinking is that they would come out with a Windows version, a Windows 11 version, like a light version that could run on a Windows 10 computer that was older. They haven't done that either. So yeah, it's kind of really disappointing. Not really good business practice. So if you want to go the new computer route, you could check into some laptops. There are some laptops kind of under $300. Check Walmart. They accept returns and everything. So if it turns out not to work or you don't like it, you can return it. Walmart does have sales, so don't just jump at the first thing you see. You can find some inexpensive laptops on Walmart. Don't know how long they're going to last, but if they don't cost that much, if you get a couple of years out of it, why not? What usually happens with a computer that's cheaper that you buy like on Walmart, it will update itself to death. It'll fill itself with so many updates that it'll become slow. It'll become unusable. But if you want to give it a try, you could give that a try too. If you do get a cheaper new computer, just have realistic expectations. You're probably only going to get a couple of years out of it. So yeah, Microsoft is kind of making life difficult for a lot of us. It's kind of a big deal in the Windows community, not being able to freely upgrade to the next operating system. A lot of people don't really even want to do it. Windows 11 has gotten a lot of flack. I don't really think it's warranted because I think it's a very good operating system. I use it, I enjoy it, it works fine. I don't really think it's spying on me too much. A lot of people are afraid that Windows 11 spies on you. I guess it does to a point. It has to gather some information to make your experience using it more pleasant and make the computer more usable. So that being said, there's people still using Windows 7, using Windows XP. Windows 8 I don't think was that great, so maybe you don't want to use that. That's why there was no Windows 9, they went right to Windows 10. So if you're going to continue to use Windows 10, go right ahead. Just use common sense, use caution. Now, is there a chance Microsoft has a change of heart before the October deadline? Yeah, there is. It's getting less and less likely as we go along, but they could change their mind. I think the biggest possibility is they'll offer free extended support. And since I first recorded this video, this has indeed happened. Microsoft is offering free extended support for Windows 10 security updates only. But the catch is you have to sign up for Microsoft Backup and you have to have a Microsoft account. Microsoft has a web page that talks about this. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check it out. What I was hoping for is that they come out with some kind of version of Windows 11 for older computers. That seems pretty much zero possibility of that at this point, unless they're hiding something and going to spring it on us at the last minute. So you have to be prepared that this is the way it's going to be. If you can't upgrade to Windows 11 with your old computer, you're going to have to keep using Windows 10. Or maybe you just don't want to upgrade and you don't care and you're just going to keep using Windows 10 no matter what. And there's a lot of people that fall into that category. They just want to stick with something they know, stick with something that is reliable, and they use it every day. They've been using it for years. They don't want to change, so they're going to keep using it. And as long as they use that with common sense, they'll be fine. So another topic we can touch on is completely switching over to Linux. This is possible to do. There is a learning curve with Linux, fairly large one, but if you practice, you can learn the programs. A lot of programs are identical to Windows. I use Linux Mint, and it's very similar to Windows. It's not like it used to be where you have to type in endless codes and stuff like that. They have a download page where you can just download programs directly, installs it seamlessly onto your computer. So just be aware with Linux, you're going to have to learn a lot to switch over. It's tricky even to get the software to install. You have to put it on a thumbnail drive. It's tricky. But if the best thing you can do with Linux is they have Linux forums where people talk about their experiences with Linux. That's the best way to learn. Sometimes the only way to learn is through the forums and trial and error. But if you're going to do the Linux thing, you might want to start with a dual booting thing. This way you can learn Linux before you completely abandon Windows 10. Because it's going to take a while to learn Linux and get comfortable with it. You can do basic stuff on there, web browsing fairly easily, word processing stuff, and simple stuff like that is pretty easy. They even have an Office suite called LibreOffice. It's very good, pretty easy. It's not that much of a learning curve with that, but there still is. You have to learn it. It's different, but it's pretty easy if you want to do basic word processing stuff. But just be aware it's going to take time to learn Linux. Don't get frustrated. Don't panic and say, I can't deal with this anymore. Be patient and you'll learn Linux. It'll just take some time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.